What's going on, guys? So Sunday morning, work on the car like usual. So where I left it last, motor and trends were in, just sitting there, and that was it. So I'm gonna do a little bit of cleaning up today, and then probably just go in and out of a few clips. I mean, I got a lot of boring stuff to do, so I'm going to start pulling the interior apart. So seats out, carpet out, shifter out. I unbolted the shifter underneath when I was under there. So that's all that. I'm hoping that tomorrow or Tuesday the carpet kit and the dash pad will show up. So I'm going to take everything out, and then anything that's not black, like this car had a brown interior and I put black door panels on it and stuff. So anything that was brown or whatever, I'm going to take off, paint, clean, put back together. All these little side moldings, I left them all just kind of rusty and shitty, so I'll redo those, paint all that, put that all back together after. While that's all apart, then it's much easier to kind of lie in there and screw out the pedals in a linkage when you're not trying to cram yourself under the seat and the steering wheel. So I should be able to get all that done. Like I said, once it harps out, I'll be able to see the hole that was in the floor. Hopefully it's decent. And then I can start messing around with the linkage, because this shifter was all in one piece, so I'm going to have to kind of snake it through, I guess, through the top down. I'm not really too sure yet. Figure that out. And while I'm at it, I'll probably put the drive shaft in, just to double check and make sure it all fits. I kind of eyeballed it. I know a lot of you guys said it was all the same, so hopefully that's true. And then before I put the exhaust and all that on, I want to wire everything up, because it's much easier to get in stuff, like get to the starter, all those sort of things. I still got to roll the motor over and set all the rockers, so I'll do that. Distributor in, and then it's a matter of just kind of bolting stuff on, right? So it shouldn't be too big of a deal. The only real hurdle I have to deal with is going to be a clutch linkage, but I gotta think it should work. It's a small block Chevy in the factory locations with the OEM stuff. So how hard can that be? And then the brakes. That's going to be the only thing. It's a bit of a pain. And then go through and just find... I got some miscellaneous wires and stuff, so I got to deal with those. And I was going to order off Amazon a temperature switch for the fan, because I have it wired up on a toggle, which is fine, but I'm kind of over that. So hopefully I'll do that right now. And then I can just kind of put it on the intake or on the block, whatever I'm going to do. And then that should be kind of all the little stuff. So basically in reverse of what I did 2 or 3 videos ago, taking everything apart, it's all going to back together. But I'll I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning. I'll rip the interior out. I mean, it should be 8 bolts, seats will be out, rip the carpet out. And I'm still fighting out the roll cage. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. But yeah, should be a good Sunday. Okay, so I got most of the interior apart, seats and all that out. So I figured I'd show you this. I know I showed you guys a little while ago a few pictures of what the car looked like when I first got it. So it was so far apart, but what really sold me on the car was, I did a terrible job cleaning in here before, but original floors, all it had was this kind of butchered patch where I guess the 4-speed was. These little brackets here. It had a couple of racing buckets that were just like welded in and bolted into place, not adjustable. I didn't actually have the seats when I got it, but they were in there. I just kind of left them because they're all welded, and it was what it was. And then there's a couple of plates in the front there, and you can just see the leftover where it had door bars going into it. So original floors in Manitoba here is unbelievable. So that's what I love so much about this thing. So I'll probably, I guess, you know, when I take it all out, I'm going to clean this all up, wire wheel it, vacuum it. I'll probably paint it black while I'm at it. And I noticed when I was actually editing the video, it kind of looked like the wiring is a little bit of a rat's nest. So I might go through there and clean some of that up. And I was kind of, when I was putting the car together, I was really lazy. I think I kind of was basically done. It was like June, and I just wanted to drive the thing. So like all these panels, they were just, I didn't even clean them or anything. And you can take them apart and kind of dye them or vinyl paint them. And I mean, just overspray all over the dash, and then, I mean, like I said, it's all rusty and all that here. The headliner's brown. The interior was definitely the weak part of it. The carpet was shit. So now I'm going to put a dash pad in it with the carpet. I'll clean the floors up nice, do the wiring a little bit, you know, new pedals, all that. These are brand new door panels I splurged on, and it's got all new weather strip and all that sort of stuff. So it's actually a really solid car. I just cheaped out in a few things. So I'll pull the dash out, you know, clean up in there. I mean, you know, I don't know, clean the column up, do a few things like that. Doesn't have a package tray, put one of those in there, you know, little stuff like that. But that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna keep working. I'll probably pull this back section of carpet out. It's kind of got a huge hole, actually. I didn't remember that when I was in there before, but I might take that out, get the linkage all set up, and then I'll have to probably weld a piece in or do something to make it look a little nicer, because it's pretty butchered. But hey, that's old hot rods, right? So I'll keep going. So here's the ginormous opening. So I don't think that's factory. It's funny the stuff you forget when you build a car, but obviously I'll get the shifter in there. The only advantage is it's got lots of room, so I'll be able to get everything really easy. And then once I'm happy with it, I'll have to make some sort of little plate in there, and I might just screw it down just so I can always get back in there if I want to down the road. It should make adjusting everything easy, because I still have to weld up that shifter, change it all up. Under here, you can kind of see what I've been working on. So I thread this little, you know, kind of end into the block, which is where that little Z-bar, or whatever you want to call it's going to go to. And that's a linkage, so I ran it through. It's actually hooked up to the clutch pedal, so it will move, and you can see what it's going to do there. I don't have any little bushings on the side yet. I was just test fitting it, but pretty simple. So clutch, rod, little Z-bar, has its little bell crank thing, and there's going to be another bar that goes from there right to the clutch fork, and then some sort of return spring, I guess, for the pedal to hold it all the way back. But a few little clips here and there. It's actually a really simple kit. I'm hoping the headers are going to clear. I never put that together till right now. But, yeah, it's going. But you can kind of see now, this is where that proportioning valve hung down. So hopefully I'll be able to just put it around there somewhere, put the master cylinder back on, and go from there. Okay, I'm working on the car a bunch, and haven't done a whole lot of filming since it's in ugly spots. So to show you where I'm at, I got the master cylinder back on. I painted it because it was all rusty. So that's bolted in. The linkage for the clutch and all that's still good. This is the little adjuster. This is the little return just to hold, to keep the clutch pedal all the way back. So the adjuster is, I got it out because this little kind of ball tip is supposed to fit in the end of the clutch fork. And I don't know what kind I have, but it's meant to have something that'll slide in, so it's nothing. I need to build some sort of little cup or a ball or something like that for it to sit in. But anyways, now you can kind of see what I'm working with for room. So I'm going to put the master, or the proportioning valve on the side here off the master somewhere like that. But I think I should be okay, because that's the rear brake line and it kind of curves around. So I should have enough slack. I can start putting that together. I've been inside the car a bunch, which has been a bit of a pain, but so now that the master's back in, the brake pedal's where it should be. The clutch is, I mean, it's kind of loose, but ultimately it's pretty much there and everything's happy. I got the shifter in. Now I know a lot of people are saying, like, this is out of a Tri-5, which I knew, and it is worth a few bucks. The problem is, if I sell it, I'm going to have to buy another one. I'm going to buy another one new, and it's going to be whatever I'm going to make for this. So it's kind of a, I don't know, a 50-50, you can't really win. Obviously this first and third are going to slam in, slam in the dash. But otherwise it should be okay. I'll just kind of slice it. I'm thinking I'm going to slice this little section off and just weld that right back there. And hopefully that'll put the shifter about where I want it. I'll have to kind of just test fit the seat real quick. But that's easy. So that's in, bolted in, ready to go. I haven't hooked up any of the linkage underneath. Yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. Anyways, Danielle just got home, so I'm going to hang out with her for a bit. I don't know if I'll be back out later tonight or tomorrow, but in the meantime, like, share, subscribe, do all those things, and well, be back. We'll get this thing going. Okay, well, just finished supper there. So I was working on the car a little bit. I got the linkage all hooked up, and I got the drive shaft in and everything underneath. So the linkage is pretty decent. The 1-2 rod, which a lot of you guys noticed was going the wrong way, so when I put it the right way, it actually had a bend in it. So I'm going to have to take it out, I think, and kind of bend it in the vise a little bit. But I mean, first and third, because it's hitting the dash, won't go, but it's got everything else. And then reverse seems to work. I guess it's at enough of an angle it goes under the dash. So that's good. Pedals are where they're going to be. so I'm happy with that. So tomorrow I gotta try and find something for that clutch lever to make that all work, and then hook up this or this return setup, but that should be no big deal. And then once I got all that done, I'm pretty much done underneath. Actually worked out pretty good. The brakes is the next biggest hurdle, and then I'm a little nervous about this header. Hopefully it'll be okay with the clutch linkage, but I want to make sure everything's hooked up 100% before I deal with that too much. Then it should be a matter of just kind of the rad, fuel system, kind of hooking everything back up. But once that's all done, that was just bolt-on items, so that should just be one night. So today's Sunday night, so I'm sure brakes will be a night, the clutch will be another night. Yeah, maybe Thursday, Friday, it'll all be ready to go. We'll see how it is. But that's it for me tonight. I'll be back at it tomorrow after work. Hey, what's going on, guys? So it's Monday after work, just got home. GoPro's dead, so I've been doing a little bit of work. I ordered a new clutch fork off Amazon, because the one I have is for a Tri-5, which isn't really going to work with the linkage I have for the Nova. I could screw around with it, but it's got the funny angle on it. It hits the floor. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to yoink the transmission out now that it's in the car. So that's a pain in the ass. But whatever. I managed to get the clutch linkage or the shifter linkage all dealt with. And then I was just working on the shifter. So that's how much I cut out. I'm sure some of you guys are going to light me up in the comments there, but like I said, by the time I try and sell this one, do another one, it just wasn't going to work. So I put the seat in. I'm kind of happy with it. It's in a good spot. Does all its things. Everything is good. Doesn't hit the dash. So that's that. So now all I gotta do is just figure out what I want to fill in there, but obviously I'm going to finish welding that. I gotta take it all off. I'll finish welding it together, and I guess probably pull the transmission out. Don't really want to do that. Tonight I'm supposed to get the carpet and the dash pad, so that'll be good. I can get those all kind of set up and maybe start cleaning up in here, but I like to get the drive line all dealt with, so I think that thing's supposed to show up tomorrow. So if I pull the trans out tonight, I should be able to get it all back together tomorrow maybe, or Wednesday. That's my plan. I'll keep going at it. Parts guy showed up, so I got the dash pad and the carpet. This stuff's expensive. It's unbelievable. It's like 600 bucks or something like that for a carpet and a dash pad, but I got it, so I can start working on that. You want the transmission out. I didn't do a whole lot of filming because pulling the transmission on your back under the car is a pain in the ass. Feels like it's heavier when you're lying on your back. I got the floor jack just kind of holding the motor level, so I'll pull out that clutch fork right away. The new one should be here tomorrow from Amazon. I got the shifter all dealt with. I'm gonna weld up a couple of the rods. One of the rods had it had been all bent, so it had some like kind of stress fractures or whatever in it. Just gonna weld that up real quick, but that was all shifted nice the way I had it set up, so hopefully I should be able to slap that clutch fork back in, put the transmission back in, bolt it all back up again, and I'll be good. That's my plan anyways. But I think that's it for me tonight. I'm frustrated. I've had enough of it. I'll be back at it tomorrow. If you don't mind leaving a like and subscribing to the channel right now, and then yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. What's going on, guys? So it's been a couple days since I've doing any filming. I've been doing a little bit of work. Like I said, I was busy last night, but I did a little bit. I pulled the scatter shield off because I had to change that clutch fork, and I managed to get the linkage all kind of set up. So I'll crawl in there and kind of show you how that worked out. It was frustrating because I've done it a bunch of times over. The linkage on the transmission, the 1-2 linkage was all kind of jacked up. It had been bent, so I had to kind of heat it up and bend it back and do a little bit of test fitting. And I'm missing one little washer or centering piece there, so I gotta find one of those. So I chopped up the shifter handle, and I just kind of welded it back on so it does what I want. Then you just got to put like a little drill bit or a dowel or something in there, and that's your neutral position. You set everything up, so everything's kind of loose actually, but it all works, so I'm happy with that. Goes through all the gears, no problem. I just kind of eyeballed reverse. I put it in where I think it should be, and it was good enough. So that's everything up top. I'll take the shifter off and the transmission back in. Anyways, now that I'm under here, So this was the old clutch fork, and this is the part that was wrong. This is for a Tri-5 Chevy, and what I needed was, hopefully it shows up, was this piece. So it's kind of got a round little ball it fits in. So I switched that out. Unfortunately, like I said, the scatter shield had to come off, transmission out, the whole deal, and there's just so many bolts. It was a pain, but I got that all kind of dealt with, somewhat lined up. It's just got a little adjuster here. So once I get the transmission back in, it's all bolted up. I'll adjust that properly. A little lock nut, and that should be that. Because like I said, this other one being squared off, or I guess whatever angle it was at, was actually bashing in the floor. Because I was going to just weld on a little washer or something right there, but decided I didn't want to do that, so I bought one off Amazon for like 40 bucks. Put that on, and yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to get that transmission off the bench, hoist it back in there, wiggle it in, put it all back together. I don't think I'll film that because you've seen that a few times, but next time you see it, hopefully transmission's in, we can start messing with the linkage and adjusting the clutch and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so I pretty much got a linkage hooked up. So this is the little return spring for the pedal. It's all good, everything's adjusted. I've got the proportioning valve out. I'm going to start working on that. But before I get on that, I figured I'd show you guys underneath real quick. I'm done being under here for a little while. So transmission's in, drive shaft's in, linkage is in, speedometer cable's there. It's really close on, I think, the 1-2 shift lever, but we'll try that out for now. Up front here, so you guys kind of see how everything works. This is a little adjustable rod that goes in my new clutch fork. It's not too dark. This around. I had to do a little bit of messing around with this clutch fork. I had to sand it all down because it was actually, you can see the scuff marks. It was hitting the floor, so I had to modify this one as well. But that's that. Everything else is all together. Seems like it goes through the gears. I'm happy with it. Like I said, drive shaft's in. So all I really have left to do under here is put this the front pipe, both those in. Once I get the headers in, like I said, there's might be a little bit of issues now with that and the headers, so this might get moved around a little bit. This is pretty much where it's got to be. So I'll figure that out. But I'm going to go up top and work on the brakes. All right. Well, it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So I was messing with the brakes. I kind of have way extra lines, so I got to redo these, but I'll do that in the summer. So I looped them, got them all done. I just got to make one line. I'll probably just redo that one while I'm at it. So I thought I'd work on the headers. Well, the linkage is smack dab in the middle of these mid-length headers, which are actually nice. They're like ceramic coated ones. And I don't really want to bash them too bad. So I'm going to go see what a cheap set of headers is. I think a set of long tubes that go straight down and back would actually be fine. So, I mean, Nova Camaro, how hard can it be? But I don't know what's going to show up here, but I'm locked right up against the linkage there, so it's not going to happen whatsoever. The other side will fit fine, but that's kind of pointless. So I think I'm going to take a break from the mechanical stuff because it's not going that well, and start pulling the interior apart. Maybe start dyeing some stuff black and all that. I'll head to the speed shop tomorrow. Hopefully they can get me a set of headers. But again, it's Wednesday night, so it'll be Thursday tomorrow. So unless they have something in stock, nothing's happening till next week. Like I said, I'm out of town next week anyways. So I'm going to end this video here. Kind of a bummer. I was hoping to get it running and all that, but just hit so many roadblocks. I'm not going to be able to get that done. So like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Pop me up in the comments because this is brutal. But yeah, I'm sure I'll make another video doing interior. Maybe hopefully when I get back from SEMA, we'll fire this thing up and actually take it for a test drive. Well, that's it for me. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.